How to complete the To Honor One's Elders achievement during the Lunar Festival holiday in World of Warcraft. This achievement counts towards getting the Violet Protodrake mount from What a Long Strange Trip It's Been, and you'll also get the title Elder. The Lunar Festival achievements are relatively simple, but they will take some time to complete because 7 of the 12 achievements require you to fly around various continents and speak to all the elders on these lists. You've got the elders in Eastern Kingdoms, Kalimdor, Cataclysm Zones, Northrend, Horde and Alliance capitals, and inside dungeons. And every time you talk to an elder, you'll get a Coin of Ancestry. So by the time you finish visiting all the elders, you'll naturally collect enough coins to complete another achievement, 50 Coins of Ancestry. For finding the elders, there are a few ways to make it easier. You can use add-ons like TomTom and Paste to copy and paste waypoints from Wowhead, which will give you navigation markers for each elder. Or you could try add-ons like Candy Buckets or Handy Notes Lunar Festival that mark all the elder locations directly on your map. If you'd rather go old school, you can just check the list manually and plan your route accordingly. Keep in mind there's a lot of overlap between the achievements too. For example, while you're doing the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor ones, you'll also be able to knock off the Cataclysm, Horde and Alliance ones, and some dungeons since those are throughout the same continents as well. So be sure to work them all into your route and completely finish off a continent before you move on to the next one. The elders in the open world will be pretty easy to find and get to, but the elders inside dungeons can be trickier because you have to actually find the dungeon entrances, and the elders are usually pretty deep inside. But don't worry, I made a separate video here that you can watch to help you with that. And one more thing to note, certain zones will require you to speak to the NPC Zidormi to change the timeline back to the past in order to see the elders. This includes places like the Blasted Lands, Tirisfal Glades, Darkshore, Uldum, and Silithus. So be sure to check your map for Zidormi's location if you can't find an elder in these areas. So that takes care of the biggest chunk of this meta achievement. Now let's move on to the remaining 4 achievements. We can start off by completing 2 at once, the Rocket's Red Glare and Frenzied Firecracker. For these ones, it wants us to launch 10 red rocket clusters in 25 seconds or less, and 10 festival firecrackers in 30 seconds or less. You can buy these from any Lunar Festival vendor, which can be found in several major cities, but to keep it simple, here's the location out front of Stormwind for the Alliance, and here's the location in Orgrimmar for the Horde. Once you've found your vendor, buy 10 red rocket clusters and 10 festival firecrackers. Then simply start spam clicking your first stack until they're all used up, and repeat with the second stack. Next up, it is time to head to Moonglade for Lunar Festival Finery. To get to Moonglade quickly, you can use the festival invitation by simply doing this quick lunar fireworks quest, then just step into the moonlight to use the teleport. Once you're there, talk to the vendor Valadar Starsong, located here, and purchase either the festive pantsuit or the festive dress for just 5 Coins of Ancestry. And finally, the last achievement is Elune's Blessing. This requires you to summon and defeat the boss Omen, then stand in the moonlight beam that appears over his body to receive Elune's Blessing. To get started, pick up this quest from Valadar Starsong and head over to this location. There are 2 scenarios that can happen depending on whether other players are already engaging with Omen. If you're lucky, other players might already be fighting him, or he may have been recently defeated. If you see his body or a glowing moonlight beam, simply walk into the light to get credit. But if Omen isn't there, you'll need to summon him. To do this, you have to fire cluster rockets from the launchers located near the lake, and it takes about 30 rockets to summon him, so you'll need to purchase cluster rockets from the holiday vendor nearby. I recommend buying at least 40 to ensure you have enough, though if other players are helping you launch them, you likely won't need all of them. When I did this, there was no one around, so I used almost all my rockets until he spawned. And I also created a listing in the custom group finder because you can't solo him, and no one was around for a while. So once you've got a few people, defeat him, then step into the moonlight beam and head back to Valadar Starsong to turn in your quest and complete the achievement. And that is everything for the To Honor One's Elders achievement during the Lunar Festival in World of Warcraft. I hope you found it helpful, and I'll see you guys for the next holiday, Love is in the Air, to do the Fool for Love achievement, which is actually coming up really soon and it will overlap a bit with the Lunar Festival, so be ready for it.